So this is my rack system to run this 682 Klipsch subs, and then this KP-600 had the LF and the whole HF, and the HF is divided into a mid-bass module, which is a 10-inch woofer, and then it's got a tweeter and a mid-range. There's a passive built inside this that you can see here. Here's one taken out. This is tweeter, mid-range. Tweeters to this horn, mid-range, and it's got a passive crossover around 5,000–6,000 hertz. So that's one channel of amplification that runs that. This would be another channel of amplification. Normally the HF that was over there with the tweeter in the mid went there, and then this is the mid bass, so that's another channel of amplification. And down here is two 15-inch woofers. Here's a set here that I've gotten cleaned up. So the LFs down here were two 15-inch woofers, tweeter mid bass module with the 10-inch woofer. So basically we need 4 channels of amplification. 1, 2, 3, those are wired in parallel, two 15-inch woofers. 4, wired parallel, two 18-inch woofers. The way I've got this wired is the entire top row of this crossover is 4 channels on the left side only. This equalizer, Clark Technic, this is all analog. This is also just the left side. For formalities, the bottoms are right, and this is right, which I haven't got the EQ set on that. For right now, I'll leave this as a 30 hertz cut. I also have it down as a 6 dB so that the sliders, you don't need to ever go down or up 12 dB on this, so I've got it set to a 6 dB scale. You can see the 6 under there. And I've got this at 0 gain. I use these as the gain. This top one has been mostly set, this, which is the left. The right I've not done yet. These 4 amplifiers is 8 channels of amplification. What I will tell you is that I've got one whole side doing the right and one whole side doing the left. We'll show it in the back. That way, this might be running sub, and this one might be running tweeter. This might be running sub, and this might be running tweeter. Then it might be mid-bass LF and then mid-bass LF. You'll see in the back, but I've got it to where there's not 2 subs on 1 amp for strain purposes. These amps require a lot of power when you turn them on. Now this is a 30 amp Hubble. I have an adapter here that goes to a 20 amp line that you can put on this. So this right here would go into that 30 amp Hubble, and then you would need this converted to a 20 amp. And just like this cable here, this orange cable, goes to a 20 amp dedicated outlet. But you would need to turn 1 amp on at a time, wait about 20–30 seconds. I'd turn these on first. This one turns on the back, this one turns on right there, and then turn each one of these on at a time, about 30 seconds apart, and do the opposite order when you turn it off. Turn one off, 30 seconds, turn the other, 30 seconds, and turn that off. Reason is these have a lot of draw right when you turn them on. So this will run on 20 amps just fine, but only when you turn them one at a time. Don't ever put this on a power conditioner. Have this hooked straight to the wall. If you turn them all on at once, you're going to flip the breaker. So that's the front. This crossover can be intimidating. I've got this set where the crossover for between the mid and the tweeter and the mid bass to be about 1250, right in there. And it's got the crossover response you can mess with. I've monkeyed with that a little bit. You can tweak that. You know, if you're listening to the stereo and you want to listen to one channel and think it sounds better, you can play with that. But I got a set where it looks good on an RTA. This right here, this one, is the crossover at 400 hertz that goes between the two 15-inch woofers and the 10-inch cone. So the 10-inch woofer is playing from 400 hertz to about 1250. And it also has the response here at the crossover point if you want to play with it, and I've already done that. And last but not least, you've got this crossover point here between the subwoofers and the two 15-inch woofer LF, and I've got it set to about, I don't know, 90 hertz. And that's similar to what was in the Pro system that I got, and that's what I've got in my man cave, where the crossover is about 90 hertz, 1250, and then so you have 3 crossover points for 4 channels of amplification. The 4 channels of amplification output are modified here. This is the tweet mid, mid bass, LF, subwoofer. And here's the entire gain for the whole thing. And right now I've got it set on Unity U in the middle. I've got this set, and we'll leave these straight up, and then we'll put these probably at Unity, may put some gain on it. And of course your preamplifier you can set on here if you want to go. Right now I've got my phone doing some pink noise to the inputs on the equalizer. Then the equalizer is hooked to the crossover, and the crossover has 8 outputs going to 8 channels of amplification.